I'm not sure if you were aware. I'm not sure if you spent any time on Twitter today. I'm not sure if you decided that, hey, I wanna go and check SwipaCam's Twitter and see what exactly is going on. But even while you're watching this, I encourage you to pick it up. I encourage you to go to my Twitter and go and see for yourself and see the engagement that happened with a particular national media credentialed person who decides to continue to open his mouth about Nikola Jokic. We'll get to the game in a minute, but this morning, Nick Wright, first things first, generally does a good job. But again, he is a KC fan, he is anti-Denver, and really, maybe most importantly, he's anti-Jokic. He said that Nikola Jokic is the worst MVP in the last 35 years. He doesn't think he's a top 5 player, yada, yada, yada. So today, I bring it up that last game, Jokic had 28, 21, and 9, and didn't make Nick Wright medal stand. So here I am thinking like, bet, that's crazy. Why would he do that? Sure enough, he puts LeBron James at number 1 overall in his medal stand, who had like 33, 7, and 6. Said he's the best player in the NBA, coming for the MVP. And Giannis and Joel Embiid are the number 1 and number 2 MVPs right now. And I'm sitting here like, what? No mention of Nikola Jokic? No mention of the reigning MVP? So sure enough, I said something. Y'all already know I have something to say about it. Long story short, I bring it up how Nick Wright doesn't think he's a top 5 player, and he's a part of a coalition of national media people who do not think that Jokic is a top 5 player. So he quote tweets me tonight. My tweet said 28, 21, and 9 did not make Nick Wright medal stand because Nick Wright honestly doesn't believe Jokic's that great of a player. I'm telling you, a lot of national media folks don't think he's a top 5 player. Nick Wright then responds, I'm just curious, Giannis, LeBron, KD, Embiid, and Steph, to be in the top 5, Jokic has to be better than at least one of those guys. So which of those guys is he better than? I'm over here like, what? Where have you been for the last 18 months? Last year, he won the MVP outright. Steph Curry wasn't as good as he was. Joel Embiid wasn't as good as he was. LeBron James ain't been as good as he has since the last 18 months. And Giannis was great, but he didn't win the MVP. And to start this year, he is literally setting all kind of records we've never seen, raw data and advanced stats. But Nick Wright had the nerve to come out and say, who are you taking him over? Well, we asked the wrong person, because I'm taking him over everybody. Jokic versus everybody. That ain't even difficult for me. Y'all already know, I stand Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's my dog. But I've already told you, go look at my Twitter feed, go look at what I've said in the video. Giannis and Jokic are the best 2 players in the league, and it's not very close. Nikola Jokic has been the best player in the NBA so far, worked with the worst lineups in all the NBA. And again, I'm not even trying to pick up Facundo Campazzo pants. This is the truth of the matter. This is the truth of the matter. Facundo Campazzo has the worst plus minus of any player by over 100 points. Over 100 points in over 500 teams. Yet Nikola Jokic has a team at 25 and 21. Really, with him, is 24 and 17 when Jokic played this season. So the fact that he came out and said that, and then on top of that, he puts a poll out and says, do you think Jokic is the best player in the NBA, top 3, top 5, or somewhere in the 6 to 10? And 37% of the people who voted said Jokic is not a top 5 player. He is a 6 to 10 ranked player. And it confirmed what exactly I already said. There are literally people, national media experts, who do not think he's a top 5 player, regardless of what he's done. Some of that has to do with xenophobia. Some of that has to do with the fact he's Serbian. Some of that has to do with that he's white. He doesn't look great. His body doesn't look like Joel Embiid or LeBron James or Michael Jordan. Some of it has to do with his play style. He doesn't play in a way that looks like dominance to a lot of Americans, and I've already told y'all this. We done already worked through this. When I asked the question last year, can a Serbian win the MVP award? Y'all remember that video, because a lot of folks hated on it. So then he puts up, no one is allowed to question Nikola Jokic's place atop the NBA pyramid due to his VORP, BPM, and Pi scores, despite his one career victory after round 1 of the playoff, and he's getting outplayed like LaMarcus Aldridge and losing to 11 to a JV Nets team at the half. Again, to further my point, Joel Embiid has made it to an Eastern Conference Finals. I didn't know that. That's interesting. So the only players that have more of a resume than him is LeBron, who's the second or third or first greatest player of all time. Steph Curry, top 15 player of all time. Kevin Durant, top 15 player of all time. And Giannis Antetokounmpo, back-to-back MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, NBA Finals champion, NBA Finals MVP. Great. Career resumes, sure. But what's that got to do with right now this season? What's that got to do with the last 18 months? Nothing. And I challenged him. I said, I wish. Matter of fact, Chris Mannix said, I hope we ain't doing this. Chris Mannix came out and challenged him and then had the nerve to say that he's playing with a better cast of characters on his team than Joel Embiid is. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. And then on top of that, Bobby Marks, the great Bobby Marks, said, Knicks, what is your criteria for MVP? Best player? The one who has the most impact? Jokic is a special player, and he would be the first pick by a lot of front offices that you would build a team around. And then he had the nerve to respond, Nick Wright did, said any front office that would take Jokic in front of Giannis should be fired. Everybody should be fired. There's literally not a single front office that would do that. The MVP, your team has to be a contender. That's always been the rules. That's why Jokic and LeBron are out. That's the mess I'm talking about. People have this silly, silly mindset when it comes to Nikola Jokic. And I'm sorry, y'all. We ain't even talking about the game right now. Hey, you want to talk about the game? Nikola Jokic had 26 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. That good enough for you. 8 of 13 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3, 8 of 8 from the free throw line. He tried to chill tonight, but the Nuggets came out sucking. He tried to relax. He came out slow because he wasn't intending on going hard today, but he had to. But again, he puts up 26, 10, and 8 on 13 shots and was 100% from the three-point line, 100% from the free throw line. There you go. Moving on. They won. That's 4-0. I want to say, matter of fact, let me check. For the Denver Nuggets, they have won 3 games in a row. They've won 8 of their last 11. They're 8-3, and they're 11-5 in their last 16 games. They are on an absolute win streak, and they are currently a half game outside of the 5th seed with the Mavs, and they are only 3 losses behind the Jazz in the 4th seed and only 4 losses behind the Grizzlies in the 3rd seed. So whatever Nick is talking about, oh, you got to be a contender. Well, I didn't know that he wasn't missing Jamal Murray. I didn't know he wasn't missing Michael Porter Jr. But, hey, that's all information and facts and data you need to have when you're approaching this conversation, correct? Nah, not for Nick Wright. So then, he kept going on and on and on and on, saying that, this and that CP3 should have won MVP last year. He was advocating for it. And this is the thing. He always asked the question jokingly, why doesn't he have an MVP vote? It's because of stuff like that. People can't even take you serious if you don't think that Nikola Jokic is the top 5 player in the NBA, let alone top 3, let alone top 2, let alone top 1. I can make it's much easier for Swipa to make an argument that Jokic's the best player in the NBA than it is for you as a paid multi-million-dollar analyst to tell us that he's not a top 5 player. But you know what? We just do this for you two, so we ain't got no credibility, right? Just wait. Give it some time. Just wait. My whole thing is, what else does he have to do besides put up historically dominant season, historically dominant numbers, put up 30, 10, and 5 in the playoff series and average 50, 40, 90, the first player ever. First player in NBA history to have 50, 40, 90 on 30, 10, and 5 ever. But he's not a winner. And then on top of that, he has the 3rd highest career box plus minus in NBA history behind who? LeBron James. Michael Jordan. Are they any good? Oh, whoa, Cameron, that's an inflated stat. Oh, his PER, career PER is 26.9. Behind who? Wow, I'm glad you asked. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and Anthony Davis. Oh my gosh, but Anthony Davis is a top 2 player according to ESPN, but don't nobody want to have that discussion with me. I challenged him too. I came out and said on Twitter, whenever you want, wherever you want, Spaces, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever. You need to swipe right on me on a dating app, wherever. I'm here for it. I'm always want to have that conversation. I can prove to you that Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA. If not, if you want to be a little subtle, you want to say, Cam, be humble about it, all right, top 2. Him and Giannis. But for me, I'm taking the career all-time leader in PER, all-time leader in box plus minus, putting 26 up a game, putting 13.8, 13.9 rebounds a game, and averaging 7.9 assists per game. I'm taking him on 57% from the field, 36% from the three-point line, 80% from the free throw line. In the last 10 games, see, we can't even get to this. Because I'm over here like, bruh, I can't even bring this up. Let me keep going. Let me scroll it back from earlier today. How about this? This is before tonight when he had 26, 10, and 8. Nikola Jokic last 10 games of the season, 27.5 points per game, 13.1 rebounds a game, 9.1 assists per game on 59, 41, 86. Nuggets are 7-3. He's a plus 96, leads the NBA in plus minus. Leads the NBA in the last 10 games, but y'all ain't got nothing to say because he don't contribute to winning. Ain't got his best two players, but they're in the race for the 5th seed, about to be in the race for the 4th seed, possibly in the race for the 3rd seed, but y'all got the nerve. All right, bet. 11-5 in the last 16, 8-3 in the last 11, without having another All-Star. Never played with another All-Star in his career, but y'all got the nerve to challenge me and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Tell us that we don't know what we talk about. Tell Serbians they don't know what they're talking about. Nah, bruh. Not on this channel. Not today. Not ever. Guarantee me and Nick Wright ever get an opportunity to go at it, which one day will happen. I guarantee I'm laying people out. Go ahead and count the days because the body's about to stack up because I'm finna give everybody that business when the time comes, y'all. MVP, best player in the NBA. They get the win against the Brooklyn Nets tonight. Y'all, I'm gonna see y'all soon.